Hello and welcome, my dear astro enthusiasts. Today we are going to continue our uh, astrological investigation of Meghan and Harry. Today we are going to take a look at, this time we are going to take a look at their synastry. What is the synastry? It's an astrological term that simply describes compatibility. And we will be able to imagine because we don't know for sure, but what does astrology tell us? What it's like inside of that relationship. Let's see. I think that before we get started, it is important to mention the expectations, the mutual expectations of the couple, and how they meet each other's expectations. I briefly mentioned, no, I explicitly actually mentioned on videos about Meghan and Harry what they expect of the partner, but now it's time to see how they fit each other's bill. Briefly, Harry is looking for, romantically, is attracted, sexually attracted to women that are beautiful. No way. I mean, beautiful in terms of being sophisticated, being like refined, knowing how to behave, being extremely, like not extremely, being just adequate in the situation, being accepted in the society, knowing how to talk and how to behave with different kinds of people, being able to make this perfect, to establish this perfect balance when during the communication with the people. And when it comes to the wife, what he would expect of a wife, that's a woman who is extremely family oriented, who would be wanting to have kids, to take care of them, to make sure that everyone in the family is well fed, and that for the future that they are all set, they are going to continue to be feeling very well inside of this family in future. So Meghan somehow fits the bill, but at least she has these features a little bit al revés. Al revés. In Spanish, is in English, on the, anyway, switched, let's say. I lost the word, I'm sorry. Switched, because she has got a moon in Libra and the Venus in an earthly sign, which is Virgo. So she gives that, she's not exactly that, but she gives that impression that she is this refined woman, that she is this sophisticated, know how to behave, how to conduct herself, and also very family oriented and taking care of the children. And I mean, even being distracted from the astrology, I think that one of the things that is believable when this couple is talking is when Meghan is talking. One thing that is believable is that she is family oriented. Her family is important for her, and her children are very important for her. I think it transpires very very brightly throughout her conversation. It's very hard to fake, and maybe I don't think that she's an actress good enough to be that good playing that role. I think it's true. Anyway, so what about Meghan? What does she expect of a man? Meghan, I think in Meghan's case, with her chart, she has got this idea of this Prince Charming who is perfect, who is who is very strong and very decisive, but at the same time very handsome, importantly, but at the same time who has a sensitive side, who's very romantic, and due to the fact that these things are a little bit in conflict psychologically, you're either strong and you're decisive and you run the show, or you're kind of step back and allow yourself to reflect and be romantic. And anyway, it's a lot to expect from a person. So I think that unfortunately, in terms of relationship, she has often been disappointed, and if not always, probably always been disappointed eventually in a man. And yeah, that. So how does Harry fit the bill? Well, he is the prince, more or less charming. I don't know, for someone more, for someone less, but he's a prince. He has this project, this he has a lot of people behind him to have this image of someone who is strong and capable. But at the same time, if he's sensitive, he's mutable, let's say, and he's inclined to go with the flow. And he's, like I said in the previous episode, in the previous video, sorry, that he's quite influenced by the other people. So if this is the expectation of him, this is definitely that he's going to take and run with it, and you will believe that that's exactly what he is. So somehow they fit each other's bill, and it is not something like completely terrible, completely different people, and they are a mismatch. No. Well, we are going to continue now with the aspects between their planets. When you put one chart with the other, you compile them, and you see the aspects between the planets, and you see the let's say interaction, what kind of influence one is making to the other. And the first thing that drew my attention immediately is that Meghan's Mars is on the cusp of the 7th house of Harry's, which means that, which is not a good thing, honestly. Unfortunately for the relationship, it is not a good thing. It means that every time that Meghan is trying to set her boundaries, to compete or conflict or whatever, it is relationship threatening, let's say, for the Harry. It is, even though Harry, according to his chart, is the guy who is extremely family oriented, and there is nothing nothing or not nothing, but family is extremely important to him in terms of relationship. And if he is into one, he is going to do everything depending on him to keep this family. Okay, not the kind of guy who will step out easily, say, I'm done. No. So what does that mean in a broader terms, let's say? And then first of all, Meghan, he probably finds her, besides just being relationship threatening, this aggression, let's say, and then everyone has got fights, has got conflicts, but the way that they conflict, it's very different. And for Harry, it is relationship threatening. But on the other hand, Mars is about activity and action that we take. Actions that she takes are also relationship threatening. I'm sorry to say that, but that's what it is. But also, she is the one who is stimulating Harry to act out more, to do more things, go out there, do things, do something. She is stimulating him to let's say, instigating this kind of competition between them, which in relationship is a doubtful advantage, I would say. Anyway, moving on, what else do we have here? We have Meghan's moon making a sextile to the Uranus of Harry. Her moon is her that she's a mother, that she is a wife, and on an everyday level, what does that mean? Like, on the one hand, like, she can boost his desire to be free, to maybe to be independent, to resolve some issues in a non-conforming way, in some innovative way. But at the same time, specifically in Harry's chart, this Uranus is a very sensitive point, and not in a good way, because it is a co-ruler of his first house, of his personality, and it is also not only under the influence of Jupiter in fall, which is inadequate, and it is also on the Antares, which is a star that is basically of the similar nature with Uranus, and makes it even stronger. What am I talking about? Okay, sorry for blabbering. I just need to put in astrological terms to develop the concept. So What does that mean? Basically, it means that he is inclined to irrational, unexpected actions, okay, and this is how he is seen. And these actions are ruled by the Jupiter in fall, which is like the necessity of making a difference in the society or become famous, or and by other people. The fact that it is in fall, it means that the planet is not very healthy. It means that the way that, like we discussed, that Harry sees, oh, that's a great thing, other people see it differently, like, man, what a shame. um, how do they say it in Spanish? Tierra trágame. What do they say in English? They say, you write me in the comments. What does it say? Like, earth swallow me? I'm not sure. Write in the comments anyway. My English is betraying me today, but that's all the time that I have for making the video. So here we are struggling together. Anyway, so probably on the everyday level, it's like, you are head of the family, do something, move, and he moves in the way that he sees fit, but the way others see as very interesting. Okay, so very interesting. Another interesting aspect that they have is now Harry's planet, which is Saturn. Has got a double influence from two Meghan's planets, okay? And for Harry, Saturn is an important planet because it is the ruler of his first house, his personality, how people see him, how they view him, let's say. And it is located in his ninth house, close to the cusp of the 10th, which is Saturn is kind of the planet of slowing down the things, of crystallizing the things, of, let's say, putting obstacles on your way. So it is like he is known as the spare, let's say, that the person that is, let's say, on a very long way to his social status. That always, Saturn always delays things. So for people who have Saturn next to the cusp of the 10th house, means that the social status or success in the career is not going to arrive to your life early. And it is not going to arrive unless you're going to work very hard towards it for years. Okay, so this is true for Harry, even though it is in the 9th house, but it is very close to 10th. So Meghan, by having aspects, Meghan's chart, by having aspects with the Saturn, means that she makes impact on his image, on the way that the people see him. What is that impact? First of all, her Venus has got sextile with this with the Saturn, and it means that by her femininity, by her diplomatic skills, let's say, by being this sophisticated woman, she can make, should she want to, because the sextile is an aspect of opportunity. She can make people view him as more reliable, more calm, more serious man who with a lot of status, and just underline his high position in the society, let's say. But at the same time, she is going to, Harry, with his like serious status, is going to highlight how beautiful, how precious, how delicate Meghan is, basically, which is a very nice aspect. However, it is not necessarily about romantic relationship. This aspect is more about friendship, or sorry, friendship, no. Friendship is about with Uranus. That's what I didn't tell you guys. That's the previous, with the Uranus one, is more about like friendly relationship rather than anything else. But this one is more about business, business partnership. In business partnership, it would be a very beneficial aspect, but it's not romantic. It's actually it's otherwise. It's less than romantic. And the very same Saturn is accepting another aspect that is more difficult, square, this time from Meghan's son. And this aspect, like a good example of what it is like, is that Meghan is divorced, um, and she used to be an actress. And this is who she is, how she is presented to the public. This is publicly known information. This is her son, right? And that gives very bad conflict, let's say, influence, makes influence on how Harry is viewed. So this is like kind of putting a cloud over the public image of Harry. But I have to say that um, for Meghan, receiving this aspect is much more difficult, much more problematic and painful than it is for Harry, because in her case, her son, which is extremely important in her chart, she's a Leo. This is one of the very essential parts of her horoscope. Her like sun is not only her public persona, her appearance, it is also the creativity. This is much more important, and for the Leos it is to bringing their ideas to life, to share their creativity is vital, because the sun, its main purpose is to shine and emit energy. So Saturn, the nature of Saturn is, let's say, opposite. It's shrinking, it's planet that shrinks everything, that puts boundaries on everything, restrictions on everything, and also it is a planet of the cold. So it means that Meghan cannot express herself freely. She cannot let go with her creativity. She cannot pursue the ideas or whatever plans that she can come up with in terms of her own development. It means that whatever she wants to do in terms of her self-expression has got like a huge chains over her feet and hands, and she cannot do anything, and that's very, very painful for a Leo. In fact, this is one of the aspects that makes me think that um, she's not going to be able to live like this forever, let's say. I wish them well and let them be super happy together for ages, but looking at this synastry, I don't think so. Honestly, I'm sorry to say that. So this one is again not about anything romantic. It is not about love. It's a very difficult aspect that brings chill, cold into the relationship, fights, conflicts. And probably to Harry, it seems that Meghan constantly, unnecessarily is rocking the boat, and she wants she can drop him into the water and, let's say, wet his reputation. And for him, reputation is very important in the way that he sees it. Yeah. And for Meghan, it seems like she's doing something and always hitting her head against the concrete wall, and she cannot go through. And that he's very negative towards whatever she's suggesting. So this is kind of an aspect of active confrontation all the time, whether it is on the background or on the foreground. So also, yeah, like I said, the sun, Meghan's sun, it needs attention, it needs to shine, and Saturn does not allow that, actively preventing it from happening. The next thing that I would like to talk about on their synastry is the aspect between Harry's sun and Meghan's Neptune. It is a very interesting one, because going back to the first aspect that we discussed with Uranus, it falls exactly like in line. They're meeting in the social media. I think they said that they met in Instagram or something like this. Meeting online falls in line with that aspect. Absolutely. But this one, makes me think that because Neptune is something about is all about something ambiguous, let's say. Neptune is all about something that is a lie, that is an illusion, let's say, because lie is also an illusion that is created with a purpose. But Neptune is all about the illusions, and the Sun is Harry's, which is also the Sun is also like clear thinking, yeah, our conscious thinking. That we bring to, like, whatever we bring through our brain, let's say, or through our through a mental process. We think about it and we analyze it, we kind of bring the light, shed the light on it, and this is our Sun is responsible for it, the clarity. Okay, in one word, I'm babbling. The clarity. Sun gives the clarity, and his clarity is squared, well, means directly impacted in a negative way by Meghan's Neptune. And while she can have nothing, I mean, maybe she has nothing to do with it, it's just the kind of confusion that they have in their relationship, that Harry is maybe is also disappointed with her. Maybe Harry realized that the initial charm that he fell for is not exactly what in reality the things that he saw were representing. But maybe it is talking about a lie that is kind of plotted and to get him or to stay with him, or maybe it is on a constant basis, like saying something to Harry like, oh, you are this, you are that, and these people are those, and those people are, and those people are terrible, we are just two of us and everyone is against us, the world is against us, and we are, like, just an example. I'm not saying that that's exactly what she's telling him, or if she's telling him at all. It's just an example, like, the world is against us and we're just just us against the world, and in reality no, nobody's against them. It's just an example. So the difficulty of the situation is also enhanced by the fact that this Neptune of Meghan's falls into the cusp of the 12th house of Harry. Everything that happens and touches and describes the 12th house, we do not realize it. This is the darkness, the subconscious part of us that the Sun doesn't reach, let's say. The clarity doesn't reach there. We do not realize where this is coming from. So if this is the case, he's just unable to realize that something is wrong. He thinks that everything is fine, and this is exactly how it is. At the same time, his Sun is in the house of crisis and stress and pressure, and this kind of maybe conversation, or no, this kind of confusion, let's say, is causing him to do something actively to resolve it. And these actions that he takes, these things that he comes up with to change, let's say, to do, they just end up being something that causes stress and crisis. She's making a mess, to make it plain and short. Like, she's somehow, actively or not, just by being who she is, putting some kind of ideas that push him to doing things that are causing a mess. Yeah, that's a very difficult aspect. What else is very important, I would say? This is the aspect that, by the way, that Harry has to be very careful, because Neptune is also responsible not for illusions and confusions only, but also for movies, let's say, and things like this, but it's irrelevant. What I really wanted to say is that he has to be careful with the substances and the alcohol and like any substance that immerses us into a different world, let's say, that takes us away from the reality, distorts it, is a Neptunian thing. So that's another side of it, just to be careful with that. It's dangerous. But I think that in Harry's case, that he in general has this kind of inclination, but it is he knows it. I mean, he can stop this with the power of his will. Let's say he's the kind of guy who will hardly get drowned into addictions. I don't think so. I think that he's a recreational kind of guy. Anyway, what is important? Because this is kind of the things around the relationship, right? What is important is for a couple, for a family with kids, is how we live together every day. Okay, because you have to live in the same space and share it and share the responsibilities and whatnot. And this is all about the connection of your moons, because the moon is something that we do to sustain, to support our body, to keep our body safe, intact, in one piece, to sleep, to eat, and to do the everyday things, routine things. So how does this, when in a family these routines clash, it's like to see that shows and explains a lot about it, how the moons are located, let's say. So their moons are in an aspect which is kind of like an aspect of blindness, mutual blindness. So it can be expressed by simply say that two people are at home and one person is doing one thing, another partner is doing another thing, and they are not even completely sure if the other one is at home or not. And this is like a constant kind of situation, that one is revolving in his own world, another one is revolving in her own world, and they are kind of not even clashing. But the thing is that this aspect also tells us that it is very difficult to hear each other, because the people, in regards to everyday issues, they are so different and they are so immersed into their own notions that they are unable to really hear what the partner is trying to say, even if the conversation is there, even if the conversation is trying to be had to resolve something. Like, one partner is trying to get one message through, and the other partner is perceiving it in a different way, in the way that he is filtering it out in a completely different way. And it's like and the same situation happens on the other side, and it's like they're talking to each other and unable to hear each other. That is a very, very difficult thing, and their Marses are in the same aspect, and it means that this is the conflicts too. Like, they cannot resolve the conflicts because because one is trying to get something through and another one is not getting the message, and that's a very difficult thing, actually. This and some other things, like what I said before, make me think that I should hurry up with this video, because okay, we'll see. No, I'm not gonna say that, but it is a relationship that is very hard to be a part of, I would say. It is even more so for Meghan. I think that for Meghan, this relationship is exhausting. Moreover than Harry, Meghan can be like capricious and with her whims and her attempts to manipulate. And Harry, I think, looking at his Mars, that can be quite rude. He can yell, he can be like, he's not all of that, Dandelion cute ginger. That is a humble guy, and I think that he has a different side to him. Anyway, by the way, on an important note too, Meghan's Pluto is making an aspect to Harry's moon in a way that explains it all about the Megxit, about the moving, about it's talking about whatever Pluto touches, it's always about transformation and something that will never be the same again. before and after, and there is no way back to the previous. Like I'm scrambling scrambled eggs, it's impossible. The process is sometimes painful, sometimes very painful, and at times it will take you to another level, into a better place, let's say. But sometimes not, depending on the aspect and the nature of the planets, how that it affects how strong or weak they are, essentially. But in Harry's, but the moon for Harry's in the fourth house, and this is the change of motherland, the transformation of relationship with the family, the transformation of his role, let's say, in the family, and the whole bunch of other aspects connected, with his connection with the ancestors, if you please, like, okay, his line that demonstrates it. But the nature of what I wanted to say, why am I explaining this, is that the nature of the aspect is that it's like merciless and senseless. Like, I mean, this transformation, according to the kind of aspect, which is a connection between two planets, was not called for. I mean, it is not something that, conflict happened and now you have to deal with it. No, it's not something like unresolvable situation that we have to pick one or the other, and just we pick the freedom. No, there was no need for this. There was a lack of understanding, and that's it. Like, there was no necessity really to do that, but that's what she did, and she will continue doing it as long as they are together. This is how synastry works. Like, when we bring other people to our life, they are impacting us in a certain way. And like I said, in case of Meghan and Harry, they are touching each other in either painful spots or in a good spots, but painfully, which is unfortunate. Okay, so with all of this, like, difficult aspects, what did they bring them together? I never mentioned that, did I? Okay, so they have Mars of Harry, which is a gender planet, and Venus of Meghan, which is another gender planet of hers. They are in square. It's a very tense aspect, but it's an aspect nevertheless. So I would say that it's a sexual tension. This aspect gives a sexual tension. It gives a lot of, like, passion and maybe even jealousy and things like this. But at the same time, it shows that the owner of the Mars, Harry, is probably lacking some tolerance, some patience with her. It's a little bit harsher for a receiving person, which in this case is Venus, Meghan. For her, it is a little bit more harsh, I think. But it gives an exceptional, like, sexual attraction. When every time that Mars and Venus of the partners they are in the aspect, whatever this aspect is, it gives the sexual tension. So which can draw the partner together. Now the other planets, how they are connected, can tell will that last. And in this case, honestly, I don't know. I wouldn't, Spanish people say I wouldn't put my hand in the fire. I wouldn't bet that this, like, astrologically, that the owners of these two natal charts are going to last together. Okay, I understand that there is a lot of pressure from the outside because we know who these people are, but if we are trying to think astrologically and get us away from the reality, I wouldn't bet that these two will stay together. Moreover, like, I would say that it is high, the chances are very high that the female part, which is in our case Meghan, is not going to sustain this forever. She's not going to be able to eternally have this pressure over her, and it's a lot for her to take in. Okay, and she might be the one who could step out of this relationship. Moreover, the astrology for this year, right? It's 2023. My God, I thought it was next year. Anyway, that was next year. For what reason, I don't know. 2023 is very difficult prognostics for them, and at the very least, it's going to be very difficult time for them as a couple, at the very least. But again, I checked the compatibility, like the transits and the directions, which is another prognostics way of prognostics. For both charts separately, for Harry and Meghan on the day of their wedding, and you can tell that this wedding for both of them is meant to be. In their even compatibility, there is a sign that tells me that they have a very similar karma. Even though I'm not too much into karma, but some karmic, let's say, points, it is important, I think, to pay attention to them when they are active, and in this case they are very active. So it tells us that they have a similar karmic tasks that they can achieve together, and they are going to help each other in that way. And also during the day, on the day of the wedding, on the wedding day, for both Meghan and Harry, their karmic points in both charts were very active, on top of everything else that was ringing the bells there. You know, a lot of planets, a lot of precise partile aspects, which is like exactly the same degree. There were karmic points that were into play, so it is definitely a karmic union for both of them, I think. Again, if they are going to stay together forever, I wouldn't tell, I don't know, but it's if they do, it is going to be a very challenging relationship for both of them. Anyway, let's wait and see what is going to happen. The coronation is happening soon, at the time that I'm making a video in a couple of days. Let's see how that goes. Nice, by the way, nice pick of the date for the coronation, lunar eclipse. Good choice. Charles. Let's see how that goes. Okay, anyway, guys, let me know if you like this kind of content. Leave a comment down below, and let me know what you think, if Harry and Meghan are going to last or no. How much do you give them? How long do you give them? Okay, see you guys in my next videos. Bye.